But you need to work through the darkness. You need to understand the darkness. Why is it there? That's how you become the best you can be. What's up, y'all? Hope y'all having a beautiful and blessed day. Let's get straight into it. Today's topic, today's video, is the ego. What is the ego? Can you kill the ego? The ego is based off of the Matrix. The ego comes from the Matrix, from the illusionary life that we are living today. You can't kill the ego, but the ego can kill you. You can't kill the ego, but the ego can kill you. Okay. So this is why I disagree with the hashtag, the vontoocut hashtag, kill the ego, because you can't kill the ego. I don't know what he means by this. I don't know if he means literally kill the ego or if he means kill the ego in a sense of like no negativity or shit like that. I don't get it personally, but the whole tagline, kill the ego, it doesn't ring with me, and here's why. You can't kill the ego, but the ego can kill you. Your personality you can be consumed by your personality, but you can't kill your personality. In order to live in the illusion, in order to live in the Matrix, you need an ego, bro. You can't just sit in the corner, look at the walls, and just have no ego, have no way to move in this reality. The creator, which is us, created the ego. Don't you think there's some benefits of having an ego? There are benefits of having an ego. There are good things about having an ego. For example, if somebody says you can't do something, or somebody shits on something you do, that might actually fuel your ego and might actually make you want to get shit done more. So there's benefits of being an ego. And here's my thing. I don't like it when spiritual people say shit like, oh, the ego's bad. And it's not people like yogis and people who actually are really into these spiritual practices. It's usually more like spirituality YouTubers who say shit like the ego is bad, and ego is not a good thing, and you gotta watch out for your ego. Now, you do have to watch out for your ego, because your ego can easily get out of hand. But it's like a dog, or it's like a tool. You can care for your dog, you can love your dog, you can feed your dog, you can feed your ego sometimes even. But you ain't gonna let your dog motherfucker attack somebody. You ain't gonna let your dog run rampant. The ego is like a tool. There's a good way to use a hammer, and there's a bad way to use a hammer. You can use a hammer to hit nails, or you can use a hammer to hit yourself up on the head. You can knock yourself out with the damn hammer, or you can just build a house with the hammer. What do you want to use your ego for? Are you keeping it in check? Are you looking at your actions? Because awareness is the most powerful thing. So are you looking at your actions and you're being like, oh, I should never did this today. Maybe I went off on that person. Maybe I kind of tweaked a little bit. Are you looking at your actions and you're saying that? Are you looking at your actions and saying, oh, since I'm insert name here, I can do whatever the fuck I want? Now that's too much ego. Slow your roll, slow down, calm yourself down a little bit. See, there's no problem with having confidence in yourself, and there's no problem with having boundaries. But you have to ask your higher self, am I stepping out of these boundaries? Are these boundaries too much? You get what I'm saying? Did I just treat that person because that person needed to be treated? Or did I treat that person because I'm egotistic? You just you just insert your ego in there and didn't even finish your sentence. So that could be some opportunity that you just missed because you want to insert your ego. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can't kill the ego. You can't kill the ego. What does that mean? See, this is why I don't fuck with that. Because it's like, what does that even mean, bro? You can't kill the ego. You can have ego death. Of course, that ego death is a temporary death. And of course, that ego death is necessary. I believe everybody should go through some type of sort of ego death. I went through some sort of ego death. I was on I was on a psychedelic. And I looked at my room, this room right here in particular, and I said, I do not know where I end and where I begin. I was like, if I'm always attached to this room, then I'm always attached to this matrix, which means that I'm everything. And that's what an ego death is. Shit, I'm kind of feeling it right now. But that's what an ego death is. Okay, so I believe everybody should go through an ego death or some sort of ego disillusionment. But you have to realize that the ego is not something you should hate. It's like your shadow. You gonna hate your shadow? There's always as human beings, there will always be a darkness and there will always be a light inside of us. Now, the light is always more powerful than the darkness. But there's always as human beings, there will always be a darkness and there will always be a light inside of us. Now, the light is always more powerful than the darkness. But you need to work through. I hope you guys really resonated with the words I spoke on today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that. And I'll see you in the next one.